All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're cracking open a journal entry that is just wow. It's a story about survival, sure, but also about some seriously scary magic and a mysterious silver key that, well, it pretty much breaks the rules of reality.
So, right off the bat, this isn't some glorious tale of heroes charging into battle. Nope. This starts with the aftermath. The party is already beaten down, retreating. And this quote, man, it just perfectly captures that feeling of dread, that bone-deep exhaustion where you just know the fight is far from over. Okay, so let's set the stage here. The party, aptly named the Misfortunate Bastards, is in a really tight spot. I mean, they are completely trapped. One of their friends is literally vanishing because of some awful curse, and at the same time, there's a goblin army gathering right underneath their feet. So you can see the absolute mess they're in. On one hand, you've got your buddy, Rothan, who's got this cursed vanishing disease, which sounds terrifying, by the way, and the one person who can help, the priest, gone. Nowhere to be found. And then, if that wasn't bad enough, you've got the goblin problem down in the caverns. They're stuck between a rock and a very, very hard place. They are totally out of good options.
So, what do you do after a night with, I'm guessing, zero sleep? They basically just grab a few potions, say a prayer, and make a choice. A really desperate one. They can't just sit around and wait for a miracle that's not coming. So, they decide to go back into the darkness to face those goblins head on.
All right, so they head back down into the caverns. But here's the thing. This isn't the same place they just ran from. Something's changed. The danger, it's evolved. It's gotten way, way worse.
Yeah, see, these aren't your run-of-the-mill goblins anymore. They've leveled up. It turns out, while the party was resting, the goblins were getting ready. They'd set a trap, a kind of magical ambush, designed for one thing: to kill. And just look at this breakdown. It's a tactical nightmare. Think about it. You're fighting goblins you literally can't see. Their skin and gear just blend right into the stone walls, so they're practically invisible ambushers, popping out of nowhere and shooting these arcane bolts. Pure magic that just shreds through whatever you're wearing. And yeah, they learned how dangerous these new goblins were the hard way, immediately. Their tank, Garth, gets taken down, almost killed by a volley of magic from enemies he never even saw. Just bam, down he goes.
You'd think it couldn't get any worse, right? Wrong. Deeper in, they run into another squad, and these guys have necklaces with these crude runes that create these spheres of magical darkness and silence. We're talking about a zone of just nothing. You can't see, you can't hear, you can't even cast spells. It's a complete sensory deprivation bubble designed to control the battlefield.
So the party is just getting hammered, they're barely hanging on, and then, right when they're about to break, they find something. Something that is totally out of place in this grimy goblin cave, and this one object is about to change everything they thought they knew.
So they push on and find the boss room, basically. And there he is, the leader. This is no ordinary goblin, okay? This thing is decked out in serious armor, riding this huge, snarling worg. You just know this is the guy calling the shots, the one who orchestrated this whole magical upgrade for the goblin forces. So after what I can only imagine was a hell of a fight, they start searching the room, and they find something pretty grim. The skeleton of a dwarf, clearly another adventurer who didn't make it. But lying right there with the remains was the source of all this new goblin magic. It was this, a single tarnished silver key. Think about where they are, a disgusting goblin cave full of muck and bones. And then there's this beautifully crafted, elegant silver key. It was just so wrong. It absolutely did not belong there. In this key, you could tell right away, wasn't for some dusty old chest. No, its purpose was something way bigger. It was about to unlock something they never could have imagined. So they get back to the bathhouse, their base of operations, and the cleric, Merlth, he decides to figure this thing out. He takes the key and just places it flat against a solid stone door. And get this, the stone just melts away. It shimmers and dissolves, opening up an archway. And on the other side, a magnificent, fully furnished manor. And this wasn't some trick of the light, no illusion. It was real, solid stone, real timber, a huge, lavish home, big enough for the whole party and their mounts. And here's the kicker, the most unbelievable part. They realize it works on any door. They literally found a magical portable sanctuary, A perfect safe house they can take anywhere.
I mean, this is the perfect solution, right? An unbelievable reward for all the horror they've just been through. But this is where the story takes a turn, because, as you know, magic this powerful, it always has a price.
Just try to put yourself in their shoes for a second. The relief must have been incredible. 1 minute you're fighting for your life in a dark, damp cave, and the next you've got a portal to a luxury home, a place of total safety.
But as Merlth the cleric goes to step inside, he's hit with this wave of just pure dread. And he realizes it's not his fear, the fear is coming from the key itself.
And that's when it clicks. This key isn't just an object. It's alive, or sentient, or something. It's this powerful magical thing, and it is panicking like a trapped animal. Merlth immediately knows they can't just waltz in there. They have to understand what this thing is first.
So Merlth does what any good cleric would do. He tries to communicate with it to figure out what's going on. And the warning he gets back is chilling. Basically, yeah, the key can give you this amazing sanctuary, but it can also become a curse. If you use it wrong, it could bring ruin to everyone. It's a classic double-edged sword.
And that's where the journal entry ends. The party is finally safe, resting in this beautiful manor. But right outside that magical door, the threat is still there. The goblins are still waiting. So they have their sanctuary, sure, but they're also holding on to something incredibly powerful and potentially very, very dangerous. It really leaves you thinking, doesn't it? They found the perfect escape hatch, the ultimate safe house, only to learn it comes with this massive, terrifying risk. It kind of makes you wonder, when things get really bad, what kind of price are you actually willing to pay for safety? And is any solution ever really perfect?